There we go. Whew. I was trying to get out here before the sun got over the ridge so I could do a lot of this in the shade. That required me leaving home by 6 a.m. I'm still pretty much in the shade, but I'll work as fast as I can to knock this out while I got shade. But the sun's about to come over a couple of the big oak trees to the left here in a couple minutes. Let's get to it. So this time of year, you get these gypsy moths. They start out as caterpillars, and then they're all over the oak tree leaves. Sounds like rain, but it ain't rain. It's coming out the other end. Man, I think that was a gypsy moth on my throat, or something. But that's that gypsy moth. After that caterpillar turns into the moth, there it is. When I was out here last weekend, the whole place was covered in those moths. And when we were here a few weekends ago, you couldn't be under an oak tree because of the droppings. Not sanitary. All right, a couple things there at the end. The more that you could be low and with your elbows below the saw, then you're not bending over. You're not working your left elbow and your left shoulder. They just stay there as a guide and are ready for kickback. All right. And what I mean is, if you're resting down here and the machine comes back, you know, then that brake is going to engage. So pull back, no brake. But if machine kicks back, then the brake is going to end up being engaged. So I like to get low on the saw, on my knees, and I let the saw pull through the wood. I'm not pushing it. I'm not going and trying to seesaw it through the woods. Let it pull itself through. Your lower back, your upper back right here, your shoulder, this elbow will appreciate it. You know, nothing ever happens to, if you're right-handed, nothing ever happens to your trigger hand. It does nothing but boom, boom, boom. But you can get bursitis or tendonitis right here and right here. So the more you are not, supporting any of the weight of that chainsaw, especially as you go to a higher CC. And this is that smaller steel MS211 with a 16-inch bar, but I cut that 25-inch tree like it was nothing. This is the tree from Wednesday. So I'm going to drag the rest of this up here and pile it up, and I'm leaving the tree for now because I'm thinking about getting a sawmill, and then and this is a pretty straight tree. I can make some 6x6s out of this, or 4x4s, or 2x6x8s, or 2x6 by any length really. So obviously I know this is oak and it won't be good for outdoors unless we were to probably encapsulate it with some resin or something. That's not realistic, but we could probably use this for something. I'm almost thinking you build a permanent gazebo as the camp kitchen down here in this campsite. All this wood would be underneath. Yes, it's exposed to moisture in the air, but not to direct rain. And I think for all intents and purposes, if it lasted 10 years, that's fantastic. And it's massive pieces of timber you're not going to have to buy, like 10-foot 6x6s and stuff like that. So I'm going to gather up the rest of this and throw it over here, and then we're going to move on to the next phase this morning. I'll just keep it rolling, And by the way, I always wear my hard hat and glasses, even with the shield. I should have my safety glasses, because technically you should have safety glasses because stuff can still come up under here. So don't forget, you technically should have safety glasses under here. You did see I had my hearing protection. These gloves are getting worn out, so got to replace those. For all intents and purposes, I don't need the chaps anymore. And by the way, don't chainsaw without chaps. The time that I encountered my leg was when I was carrying the saw. It was never when I was cutting, it was when I was carrying. And it tapped those pants, and I'm glad I had them on, all right? Usually I have like level 4 cut resistant sleeves that come up to here too, that are very breathable to keep limbs from scratching me. Those cut resistant sleeves, they're not gonna stop a chainsaw, but they'll keep you from getting really scratched up by limbs. And look, I always wear my glasses at least, and sometimes a screen. Why? Because sometimes when you're tugging on stuff, tugging, and it breaks free, it comes for your face. One time I was picking up a log, like a 100-pound log, and the dead limb broke off right about here. When I had it right about here, I was about to toss it. The broken limb and everything, must have been my right hand, came right up my right eye and lacerated my eyelid. So it's pretty bad. I just got me some paper towels and took care of it and kept working. But I got a scar over the right eye, a little bit of scar tissue on that eyelid. But if I would have had safety glasses on or this shield, nothing would have happened. All right, so note to self, it doesn't matter what you're doing out here, safety glasses and the hard hat will save you so many times. I bump into stuff a lot. So if you don't have the hard hat when you're doing stuff, get a bump cap. The bump cap will help you too, especially if you're in the attic. Don't go in the attic without a hard hat or a bump cap. You will forget about rafters. You will knock yourself out. What I'll do eventually is I'll come back for these limbs right here on this road. I'll take them to my berm and get these added to the berm. Oh man. Yeah, my lungs take a beating out here. And I have to take breaks. Unfortunately, I'm like many veterans that spent time in the Persian Gulf. It took a toll on my lungs. So I'll get winded faster than normal based on, everything. But I always push myself to stay super active because I know that's going to be in the best interest of all of what's happening. So I must push on. If you go on my playlists, I've got playlists all about water storage and purification. So this is some of the RO water. Starts out as rainwater. Filter it at 5, 1, and half a micron. Then I filter at 0.1 micron. Then I circulate it with UV and KDF filter in case there was anything left. And then I run it through a 7-stage RO that has another stage of UV. And there's another system that I've been working on. That's a sanitizing system, not UV, but something else. Because the RO water is going to come out room temperature or above, since there's no AC here, I put it in my refrigerator. My refrigerator's backed off solar, so no matter what, it's always running. So I've got cold water. I also had to put a booster pump on that RO. I boosted it up between 90 and 100 pounds, so I don't have as much wastewater on the RO. So don't forget that when you build your RO. Booster pump. Honestly, I did not think this would take that long. Just dragging the limbs. Cutting up the trees, nothing. Going up and down this hill. That's the challenge. Woo! Just gotta pace myself through the rest of it. I'm gonna eat after this, I'll tell you that. So I got up at 5. I got here at 7:08. It's 8:57. It's hard by yourself. Everything takes longer. When you have people to help you, though, it goes a lot faster. I think anybody knows that. That's a given. I think I'm coughing because I got some particulate down in my throat. I used the Humboldt when I took the tree down, and I wedged it, cut my wedge angled down because I wanted the base of the tree to hit first. If you cut your Humboldt straight in and wedge from here, the top's going to hit first. I didn't want the top to hit first because I didn't want to destroy this tree, because I want to be able to use it. If the top takes the brunt of the weight of the tree, you'll break a lot of limbs and you could fracture the tree down there. So I cut my angle so the bottom of the tree would hit first. And then the camera's sitting on what's left of that hinge. So you cut your wedge out of the tree, and then you come in, stop about 2 inches from your wedge. Your hinge, and then drive your wedges in to start kicking the tree over. I'm looking at the next tree I got to cut, and I do not want it to get hung up in these 2 trees right here. So I need it to kind of go this way, but it's leaning toward, like it's going to land on those trees. So I'm going to try to get it to land between this stump and that stump when I cut it. But that's after lunch. Let me finish this. I got some stuff I got to cut down there. Always put your pants back on and keep them buckled. So if you buckle the waist first, then buckle these legs. And then it's the reverse when you take it off. Undo your legs and then undo your waist. Make sure you keep these adjusted for what you're wearing. Like in the wintertime, I'm wearing more clothes, so these tend to be adjusted a little bit out. All right. The sun passed those trees. The cloud cover's going away. 95 degrees, 100% humidity is setting in, or 99% humidity because it ain't raining. You can tell from this video about how long it would take you to trim up a tree of this magnitude and to get it all its limbs positioned to haul away. All right, now let's talk about a couple things as we wrap it up. Again, here's that notch, and here's where I came in because I wanted the base of the tree to hit first. So I cut in here and then came across here, and then I drove my wedges in on the back side. All right, I'm gonna show you one of the reasons why I cut this tree down. I could see this coming down right here. All right, and then you look inside. All right, so, and check these guys out. Make sure you can see that. I think one of them's growing on my neck. Yep. Oh no, that's a lantern beetle, whatever. So the tree's full of carpenter ants, and that's what ends up happening out here, okay? Unfortunately. And look, as you come to where I cut part of it off, now I don't know how much of the tree is going to be salvageable. You see that? So sometimes when you cut a tree off or cut a tree down, it's for the right reasons. All right, so I'm gonna get a picture right there. So I did see some dead limbs up there, but the carpenter ants got this one. And then, as you can see right here, here's how big the pile ended up being right there by my car. All right, thanks everybody. Please like, share, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up. Appreciate it. I'm out.